What is good, guys? Charles from Team COG coming at you guys here with a feature match from our locals that we had last Saturday. And it's going to be two fan favorites, World Chalice versus Crusadia. And as you guys can see here, the World Chalice player won the dice roll. My 3 didn't stand a chance. There I am just showing the faithful crawler in my hand. But we're going to see the World Chalice player start with Emergency Teleport, going into Link Spider. And actually, never mind, going into Imduk. And then we're going to see the additional normal summon for the World Legacy World Chalice. Then I believe we're seeing Agent of Creation Venus. Touchdown, paying 1,500 to get those shine balls out. The best starter that World Chalice has right there is Venus, which is such a powerful card. Very iffy during time, but other than that, so we're going to start seeing some Link shenanigans here, going into Link Spider, going into an Imduk to pretty much get 4 different names to get into Skuldred. And there we go. The World Legacy World Chalice is going to float, which is one of the, so this deck compared to maybe some people can argue that other decks out there do what this deck does better. Like maybe Spiral way back when Spiral was, prominent, like this deck did what Spiral did better. But the amount of floating that this deck has is crazy. It just, it floats so well. So we're going to see him draw into 4 cards and get to put back 3. And the World Legacy World Chalice being such a good card for the follow-up for the next turn. Lee's going to grab. He's showing me that he opened 2 Exodias. So he's going to activate, I believe, Waterfront. My little icon thing's in the way here, so I'm just kind of... So there goes Waterfront. He's going to go ahead and link 2 into what I think would be Ib. Yep, Lib, the World Chalice. Not even the World Chalice, the World Keymaster. Which is going to let him set World Legacy directly from the deck, which is going to be super good. And see, so he has Exodia in his hand, Exodius, which is going to pretty much plop back down. So essentially what this deck does, which is so powerful, is the fact that with Exodius, it can consistently recycle through Skuldred. So it can only play 2 Skuldreds and its extra, but essentially go through 4 of them, practically allowing the deck to just go through and build the board that it wants to build time and time after again if it can't get to it. We're going to see a Link 3 for a Trigate. And we're going to see the Exodius, I believe, touchdown. Yep, right there's Exodius. Getting to shuffle back all monsters in the graveyard. But he's just going to go ahead and pay 15 for the, or 10 for the Venus to go ahead and make a Link 2, which is going to be Cerberus. Ooh, nasty Cerberus. Pay 500 again, so he's paid a total of 3,000 life points so far. Looking pretty dangerous here. We're going to see a Link for Imduk. Imduk and Venus, I believe, go into Ib. So now he's contemplating what he's going to do. We're going to see the Chosen and something get used for... Oh, we made Imduk, so Imduk would float out the... Yeah, there we go. Go into Phoenix, so pretty much everything can't be destroyed by a card back. And then he's going to special down the Gamecill, which is over here closest to, I believe, the Waterfront. And normally when Gamecill touches down, it is game unless you open Dark Ruler no more. However, we don't have Dark Ruler no more, so I'm going to draw 4 turn, and I'm going to see if I can bust through this board, because inherently... Crusadias don't activate, so I can just special summon out. Since he gives me a zone with Skuldred, I can essentially, if I have 3 cards in my hand, I can build up to Equimax and then push with the Equimax over the Gamecill, but it still leaves the Trigate. And I wouldn't be able to beat the Trigate due to the fact that it can't be destroyed by battle or card effects because it's co-linked. So I pretty much am struggling how to defeat it. So I end up specialing Leonis, normal Leonis. Link this normal Leonis into Magius. And it seems like special Reclusia, not using Reclusia's effect, go ahead and make a link 3 into Crusadia Echomax, which is co-linked to the Phoenix. So now it can't be destroyed by battle, but it's also gaining that 1900. I'm going to special summon the White Dragon to pretty much make myself bigger. And I'm going to whack into the Gameciel, killing the Gameciel, which, you know, hindsight is not too great. But now I got to figure out how to get rid of that World Legacy Succession. So I go ahead and activate my World Legacy Succession to special summon Reclusia. This is main phase 2. Reclusia's effect will target itself and then target the back row, prompting the Trigate, I believe. So then I can... We'll see what happens here. I can't quite remember. But remember, guys, if you haven't already, check out our sponsors down below while we're waiting for this brain test. Check out our sponsors down below to get yourself the Ophidian mat that you see me using on the left. Or if you like the card schemes I'm using, checking out Imperium Duelist, which is linked down below as well. So Succession ends up going away, but still that Trigate's just there. And the fact that they have the ability to make Dingritsu. So now that I've solved 2 of the negations, I kind of got to figure out, you know, what in the heck I'm going to do. And kind of like, you know, hindsight looking at it now, I kind of see the play that I had. But that's, you know, that's neither here nor there, which kind of upsets me in a sense. I could have just made I could have turned the White Dragon into LP already and then linked the Equimax into another Magius and then gone out through the combos that way. And now that I see that, it's kind of upsetting, but, you know, in the heat of the moment, you're not really thinking. So I essentially just kind of skip a step and go to Spatha. What I'm trying to do now is dig for something that will allow me to potentially, like, if I could get a Gameciel, my own Gameciel, and I could special with my own Skull Dread, I could potentially go off his counters. But that's kind of thinking what I was going for at the moment, but right now I'm trying to dig into at least establishing some board of mine so that I can potentially stop it, or, you know, stop his board. But it's not looking too good. Because I think I don't even have access to Draco, so I have to summon the the Black Dragon, and it's not really the most prominent thing to do. And to be 100% sure, like I was reading, I know when testing online and stuff, you're able to bring back the White and Black Dragon after you summon him. So I'm not 100% sure if that was even an illegal play, to be honest with you. I think it was because, like I said, when you play on EDO Pro or stuff like that, the Black and White Dragon can come back because it says it must be special summoned this way, and it can only be special summoned this way once per turn, so it has to give access to special summoning a different way, I guess. So I go ahead and make Paralytic Seed, or make a special summon Form of Skipper, link into Linkuriboh, and then I grab the Paralytic Seed, and now I'm just kind of trying to dig, essentially. I dig into something. You know, hindsight, like my best bet is going up into Avramax, because then Avramax is at least you know, like the only way he can out the Avramax is by going into Ningritsu, the World Chalice Warrior, I believe. And wouldn't be too bad, but still here again, I kind of made a miscalculation. He's occupying the other zone, and sometimes this deck needs to flip and flop. And like right here, I would have been able to flip and flop and then make like a Rafflesia, and then probably still end up having a what do you call it, the Avramax on top of that. But I end up just making Triple Burst, going into Paralytic Seed. Paralytic Seed is just going to go in here and make Rafflesia for nothing, essentially, and then I'm just going to link off the Rafflesia up into Avramax, and essentially it's Avramax and pass. But hindsight, if you really think about it, like if I was able to flop into the other zone, I could have used Regulex to grab power, and then I could have made Avramax and then shotgun power, and then he couldn't solve the Avramax this turn, which could potentially have been a pretty good game. But he's going to go ahead and link off into Ningritsu, excuse me, and he's going to use Ningritsu to not yet. He's going to plop down another Exodius, which is going to shuffle all monsters in the graveyard to the main deck and extra deck. Not looking good for us over here on the Crusadia team. He's going to use Ningritsu's effect, to send. At any moment now, I can feel it coming. Avermax is going to get to have the ability to have the going to have like the second to last say in the matter, just because he can, you know, shuffle back. But I believe that will be met with the Tri-Gate, and once it's met with the Tri-Gate, that wraps it up for game one. So World Chalice taking game one, pretty strong. Going off into game two, I'm opting to go first, as it's planned. But as you guys can see, I drew right there into Waterfront and into Gamma, so all in the same turn. So we're going to go ahead and start off by normal summoning Draco, which is never a good sign, making Magius, specialing the Ranru, triggering the Magius, and then we're going to see an Ogre get dropped down. But this is, you know, I open power, which allows me to make Magius unaffected, grabbing the Draco, which again isn't like the best option that we have. But right now, since we do have the Gamma Seal, like worst case scenario, we can just special it. But right now, kind of trying to play, if I make it through the LP, I know he doesn't have Ash or anything, essentially, so then I can put back the Gamma Seal to pretty much be an extra card. And I use Draco to add back the Crusadia power, link it off into LP, which the Crusadia power will be pretty good for the next turn, considering he probably would have side decked Dark Ruler No More. Going into Red MD will then float out my Draco, and all these will make Skuldred, which will then let me draw 4 fresh cards and put back 3. Now, kind of, if we're sitting here and he's like held the Ash this entire time because he knows, like I said, this man across here he's played World Chalice for a while. So like he's the one that taught me how to use Gamma Seal correctly. So like if he knew this is what was happening, he dropped Ash here, it'd be kind of destructive, not gonna lie. But we're just going to be able to make the bare bones board, which I believe is going to be able to play around Dark Ruler No More, because we have the White Dragon. We're going to trigger that, and we're going to grab a Crawler, because I have power in hand. So right now it's going to transform into Equimax, and we're going to grab the Black Dragon from the deck, and then I'll have a set power and a set Crawler, which means if he decides during the standby phase, I just shotgun the Crawler, getting my Search for Any World Legacy card, and then I have the ability to negate it when I chain the power to... But that's it. That's all he has to see, so that's the writing on the wall. We're just gonna wrap it up, and then I asked if he side in Dark Ruler No More, and he said yeah, and I was like, well, coincidentally, I had the ability to play around it. So we're gonna go into the next game, and World Chalice opted to go first, seeing Venus. And right there, you can see at the bottom of the deck, is his, he sided an Artifact Scythe, which you guys watched the Fire Fist, did some work, so we're going to watch Artifacts. And that's another good reason why I like the Artifact engine, as I said in the Fire Fist video, is so good in this deck, is because with Exodius, you can put back the Scythe, and then if you draw into or have multiple Sanctums, it's pretty practically alive again. It's like a small combo the deck can pretty much facilitate like consecutively through the amount of Sanctums that they have. But Skuldred going to come down, he's going to draw 4. Again, seeing another Scythe. As long as he sees Exodius, or he has Exodius for the following turn, like he's going to continually be able to lock me out of the extra deck. But right now, I'm just kind of thinking like my hand's not the greatest. I think I sided it, or my side-in wasn't too good either. And the fact of like I saw like Crusadia Revival, and like that's something I was joking about. Like I see my 1-ofs that I side in more than I see like the 3-ofs that I side in. So maybe I should start siding the 1-of Red Reboot, because by the logic of my luck, I should see the Red Reboot more times than I should see like my 3 of Dark Ruler No More, my 3 of Twin Twisters, you know, like all that stuff that I would side in. But I do have a Gamma Seal in my hand, so this is actually going to be interesting in this matchup here, is if he happens to make Gamma Seal, I can special my own Gamma Seal, and then Gamma Seal cannot negate Gamma Seal, but I have like a form of interruption on my side. But right here we see Lib and Ib touchdown. Lib going to grab the Succession and set it. Lib is such a powerful card for the deck. Like I think Caleb here even sides, the World Chalice player sides the Sorrow, so like when he knows he's going first, he can potentially side the Counter Trap and then end on the Counter Trap too, which is pretty solid. And not to mention that Lib just shuffles back something when it's sent from the field to the graveyard. It's just such a powerful card. And I would like to apologize for the glare. For most of you who probably don't know or haven't checked out the previous video, our locals moved, so now we're in like a new area, and the old place had like a good place that blocked out the glare, but not here, sadly. We're going to see a 4th Skuldred touchdown, and he gets to see his waterfront, which is World Chalice's main win condition, which this man here is working on a profile. We forgot to grab it this last Saturday, but he's actually already told me some changes he wants to make to the deck. So then hopefully next time I make it down to locals, we can grab you this World Chalice deck profile. He spent a lot of this is his he played this deck when it came out in Code of the Duelist, so he's a hardcore veteran. So I draw for turn, and there we go. We see the Scythe pretty much popping down. It's not going to be too good for us, per se, but we're going to be able to make it work. Because he gives us a zone, so we have the ability to pop certain things. And hindsight looking here, what you're going to see me do is not going to be the best play, but now looking at it, I'm kind of seeing where I kind of messed up. For some reason, my mind was mentally thinking that Succession was like Monster Reborn. So I thought oh, I have to get rid of Succession, but not forget about the Skull Dread here. That's going to be able to special summon things in his own. So I should have got rid of the Skull Dread right here. It's a huge misplay on my part. And even after the game, he was like, if you would have got rid of the Skull Dread, it would have been probably game changing. But instead, I go after World Legacy Succession. So I special Draco to add back the Reclusia. And then essentially, I'm trying to Donald Trump it here and wall up. And hopefully that he can't get past it. So I do have Revival. And coincidentally, I should have probably already activated Revival, in hindsight. So he drops an Ash there. Actually, believe it or not, I didn't see that till editing this video. So we're going to see the Gameciel using the Skull Dread to summon the Gameciel. Now, hindsight, like I said, I don't know what's in his card, but right here you're seeing that he's getting the ability to do all these things, whereas if we would have got rid of the Skull Dread, he would have to have normaled already, and given he could get it already, but he could get an additional normal with Imduk. But we're going to see Almirage turn the Chalice, or the Chalice turn into Almirage, which floats out 2 more monsters. It's not too pretty looking here, because now I think he's going to have the ability to make Ningritsu, which is going to just send one of my cards, which I think is going to be the Reclusia. Oh, we see Cerberus, actually, before that. We're going to banish the Dragon Baby to summon out Chosen. And we're going to see... There we go, the Link 3 for Ningritsu to draw him 1 card, which I think was the Monster Reborn, which was a heck of a rip. I think he's going to Monster Reborn back the Cerberus, which is not too bad. He's just trying to put on damage now. But he's still pretty solid because of the Gameciel. Now I enter into another playthrough, which comes to this question: can I out the Gameciel? If I can out the Gameciel, I can be in a better position than with Gameciel being there. And coincidentally, I have found out that this deck can out a Gameciel pretty easy, actually, because everything's inherent. It doesn't activate, so practically we can just make Equimax. As you can see, I'm normal summoning Maximus, linking off here into the Magius. And this is where I actually Chain Blade blocking comes in pretty in handy. I'm going to drop Parallel Exceed. Parallel Exceed is going to summon Chain 2 Exceed, Chain 1 Magius. We're going to see that happen. He's going to be forced to negate, I believe, the Exceed. But he's going to respond with Gameciel. So I'm going to grab myself Reclusia. And then right here, I should have already had the Revival set, so then I could have probably potentially outed this entire board. If I had Revival already set, if I could have baited the Gameciel with all of its negates. Attempting to target the Gameciel, he's forced to respond with the Gameciel. And I think right here you'd be at 1. So right here, if I had already had the activated, I could have done something differently. But I'm going ahead and special summon the Gameciel. I'm thinking about where I want to put it. Put it here. Special summon the Maximus. go on into Equimax, which is not doing me any good. It does not do me any good at all. By continuing to climb into my plays, I continually give him counters, but now those counters are my counters. And if you guys don't know, since we don't have light points on the thing, I was at like 500. He's forced to negate this, though, because if he doesn't, I'm going to be able to out the entire board completely, and he does not want that. So essentially, I'm kind of like in a difficult position. If I attack over Gameciel, all he has to do is attack over my Gameciel with Ningritsu, because Gameciel has to special in attack mode when there's another Kaiju. And if I would have summoned it, you know, hindsight with it all, like, he just has enough for damage regardless. And me trying, maybe it's, you know, hindsight 2020, if I would have put down the revival before, would have made a difference. You know, if I could have baited the negates and everything like that and then used revival, I could have potentially outed the board, but we don't really truly know. But in here, I feel like Gameciel's not going to problem. I just need out the Ningritsu. But looking to see if I can make like Avermax here, because, you know, Avermax would be a very strong option to make, but all he has to do, I think actually all he has to do is take Skuldred and attack over my Gameciel, and he wins, because of just how big Skuldred is and how little Gameciel's attack is currently. He's banishing. To be chinky, I'm going to negate and banish with, with the Gameciel to stop him from getting that search. But just right now, all he has to do is essentially just attack with Skuldred, and he practically wins. I can't tell the card he has laying down there currently, but he's going to normal summon Lee, I believe. Search for... I don't know if he's even going to search for anything. No, he's not even going to... I'm going to negate and banish with the Gameciel to Lee. There we go. He's going to turn the turtle to attack, which, you know, doesn't even need to happen. He's going to swing there, killing the Gameciel. Pretty much putting the nail in the coffin. So that's it for the game, guys. World Chalice. Pulling through, winning the dice roll. But very good game, though, altogether, I'd have to say. Definitely didn't know that I could out the turtle. I always, you know, said, like, you know, it depends who gets the turtle wins. But seeing that I could potentially out the turtle, and World Chalice being, you know, having the consistency that it has, just did really good. So thank you guys so much for watching. This is Charles from Team COG signing out.